Good morning, guys. This is Sherise from Team No Sleep. Today is Sunday, right? So I want to leave you guys with something nice and early. It's early in the morning. I'm sitting up, I'm having a conversation with a teammate, and a few different things came up. A topic came up again that I've been hearing a lot about. Um, in the last few days, and I spoke at the women's event the other day in 34th Street, and that was awesome, and it came up for me too, and so it's something that I just wanted to share with you, I guess, because it's been a big theme this week. um, so two things that I want to talk to you about today are your natural instincts, right? And another one is being uncomfortable. So we're going to hit both those points. I'm going to try to do it kind of quickly because I can talk all day. Most of you who know me know that. So for me, natural instinct, right? I think about it because they always say, what are your natural instincts? Your natural instincts, if it's hot, you pull away. If it's cold, you might tighten up. Or your natural instinct, physiologically, your body, right? It does it on its own. You breathe when you can't breathe, or you breathe just to sustain. You breathe faster when you're running. Your body does that though. That's like mechanical. It's automatic. But what about your natural instincts? What about your gut instincts? Like what about your survival skills? What about you that makes you move? You know, um, some people, like I said, some people say natural is open. Get up slow out of the bed in the morning. Some people just get up and run. What's your natural and how are you programmed? Take a second to think about what's natural for you. Nothing that you have to put effort into. What are your habits? What's your natural? Everybody's natural is different, so I can't tell you what it is. It's the same thing like normal. It's like an average. Nothing there's no normal. Everybody's different. Everybody's unique and special and has their own way. So, with that being said, you know, you have to take control of your mind. Because what happens is that since we were small, we were taught that there's certain things that are natural. And there's certain things that you have to really try hard at and you might get and you might not. And then there's all kinds of other variables. But natural, the things that are just innate, the things that are just there, you know, and that should be, those are things that you've been programmed already in your mind. Like I said, since you were young, everything is learned, you know. So for the most part, you're sitting there and everything that's natural to you is something that somebody else taught you. And that's fine, right? Because it's Ed Blunt said yesterday, the mind is there to keep you safe. That's what your mind is there for. It keeps you safe, and it's true. But you know what? You have to take control over some of that because now you're in a position where you want something different. You might be happy where you are. You might not be living the worst life ever. You might be, but you might not be. And so, no matter where you are in that picture, you have to take control and you have to upgrade your natural. You have to start setting a bar higher for yourself that's on a natural basis, a natural instinct, something that you don't have to think about. You need to upgrade that. I can't do that for you. You can't do it for me. We can push each other and encourage each other to stay on the course, but at the end of the day, the one that has to do the individual work is me or you. So, you know, just take a look at that. And, people talk a lot about how when I was in the hospital, I made the video about how, I was exposing and doing travel parties. Yes, yeah, I was in the hospital. I had pneumonia. My lungs, were not in the best shape. I had oxygen. I had a whole bunch of different things going on. But for me, it was like, okay, I really didn't think about it. That's why I don't understand how that became such a big deal. I mean, now, in retrospect, I can understand. But for me, it's like I was in the hospital and I knew I wasn't at my job. Because I knew I wasn't at my job, I knew I probably had exceeded whatever vacation time or personal time, whatever I have, especially being that it's the end of the year and all this other stuff. And I've been sick before during the year. So, I'm like, well, got to use what you got, right? You got to use what you got. So I had my laptop. My mom had gotten me a laptop for my birthday, and it actually arrived just on time because as I got admitted, it was delivered, and she had it sent over to the hospital. And I had my computer the whole time I was there. And so if you walked into, but then again, I have my stuff on my cell phone too, but that's a whole nother story. But you know, if you walked into my room to mop the floor, I started a conversation with you. I'm not rude, right? You come into my room and say hello, and say hi, and, you know, boom, you have a conversation. If you took me downstairs to get a CAT scan the many times because I kept having problems with my stuff, so I had many different trips, different transporters. We got a few floors in the elevator ride. Boom. You know, um, you hooking me up to the CAT scan machine? Let's talk. I'm nervous. Let's just talk. It for me it was just use what you got, and I love this thing. So for me to talk about it is not it's not hard at all. But anyway, so that was all it was, and I had gotten off the phone with somebody on my team who was like, "Yeah, I've been playing video games all day. I'm home alone." Rah, 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 rah. And I was like, "What?" I'm like, "Dude, you could be making money right now. Like, what is wrong with you? Like, seriously, you complaining about being broke and you sitting there and you have something." So that was how that video was born. And as a result of it, it inspired other people. And the reason I'm telling you that is because I know a lot of you people already know that. But it inspired a lot of people. But the thing is, you do stuff every day that you don't realize inspires somebody else. You do things every day that are little to you, but are big to somebody else. And you just don't realize it. So know that and value that and be honest with yourself and be honest in your heart and do things that come to your heart. Don't let your mind make you act out of character with what's in alignment for you. But you also have to upgrade what you want. I was talking to another teammate from out of state, and we were talking about things, and it kind of was like, you know what, maybe we've been living life based on a standard that's not the appropriate standard for where we are today. Have you ever judged, like, yo, I used to be poor, so as long as I could have my own apartment, we cool. As long as I'm not in the shelter, we cool. Okay, but now you've been living in that apartment 20 years. Don't you think you should have maybe tried to want to maybe buy something or get something bigger or maybe get a house, like upgrade your, you know what I'm saying? Whatever that goal may have been, but once you got out the shelter and got into an apartment, your goals should not have stayed at, oh, well, I'm happy in an apartment, it's little, and there's 12 of us in a one bedroom, but we all together. Like, that's great, but, like, now you have a good job. Now you're an entrepreneur. Now you have all these things. Why are you still living and holding yourself at an expectation that's down here? Like, I don't get it. That's what I mean about being able to update what's natural for you, because you have to make this stuff a lifestyle. You have to make it a habit, and it has to be natural. So that way, it doesn't hurt. Everything's good. Keep moving, and life is simple. My father told me when I was a kid, you have to learn to love to struggle. Because if you don't learn to love to struggle, you're going to be miserable. And to some extent, he was right. Life is always going to be one struggle or another. It's always going to be something going on. And so you have to be strong up here. And you have to be willing to go through that. And you have to be willing to push through it. Because at the end of the day, if you're like, for everything, you're not going to be very happy. Now, I'm already going on 9 minutes, so I'm going to, start cutting my stuff down. But I'm going to let you know about, how I feel about being uncomfortable and people being uncomfortable around you. A lot of times when we're trying to make changes in our life, you got people popping up, hating on you, talking stuff, saying stuff, just whatever. To me, it's so ugly. Like, to me, I think if I'm trying to do something with myself and here you come making comments to me, like, first of all, your opinion is not none of my business. I don't care. And the second thing is, why would you go out of your way to tell me something negative? Like, what's up with you that you would take time out of your day to come and tell me something negative about myself? Does it make you feel better? Did you have to get it off your chest? Did you need to vent? I don't understand. But none of those things have anything to do with me. So that's what I need you to understand, that people, when you try to make changes in your life, when you try to do something different, or when you start getting a lot of attention for things that you're doing, or whatever the case is, whenever stuff starts going better for you, people will get upset. Most of the time, they'll get upset for their own reasons. That's just the way things are. But at the same time, people will be different with you. They may not acknowledge you. They may speak to you differently. They may suddenly have this edge to them. Or they just may be fake, you know. But then there's going to be those that are going to stand by you, of course. But, you know, the people that get uncomfortable should not allow for you to be uncomfortable. You have to do what you have to do to make you happy, to fulfill your divine purpose, to be honest and with alignment with yourself. However you can do that in an honest and ethical way. You are somebody who has to serve a purpose. You have a purpose. By you allowing somebody else to stop you from doing the things you need to develop yourself, you block so many people from being blessed by the things that you're blessed with. Now, at the end of the day, like I said, people will get uncomfortable. People will feel some kind of way. That's fine. Being uncomfortable is their problem. Being uncomfortable are things that they have to look at, because you can't make me uncomfortable. I will not allow for you to make me uncomfortable, because I'm going to be confident in who I am and what I am and how I believe and how I should stand. So you will not make me uncomfortable. You understand? You can't make me feel uncomfortable. So if you feel uncomfortable by something I'm doing, perhaps you need to take a look at that. Understand that we have to take control over ourselves. And you cannot allow the outside world and what their opinions are to impact you. So understand that being uncomfortable is not a bad thing. It just means that it needs some looking at. And so at the end of the day, don't worry about people being uncomfortable. Don't worry about people feeling different around you or saying you're different. You are different. You see something they don't see, and that's fine. You know what? Maybe they'll see it, maybe they won't. And that's okay too, because everybody's different. But you just have to be comfortable. You just have to be okay. And the only person you have to deal with is you. So be comfortable, be secure, be happy, live your life. Don't worry about if people are uncomfortable. Don't worry about if people are upset. I know that it's tough. I can't just say ignore it, right? Because that sucks too, and it's not the truth, right? People ignore you or say things to you, and it's upsetting and it hurts you. But you know what? You have to use that anger, use that emotion, and make it into energy, make it into fuel. Don't just survive, surpass your own expectations, but also surpass the expectation of others. Like, that's what you thought? Haha, I'm going IMD. So with that, I'm going to leave you. I've already talked 14 minutes. I'm not going to take any more of your time. I appreciate you guys always. Thank you guys for the journal. It was amazing to have you guys out there yesterday at the Les Brown event. Like I said, continue to reach out to me. I will continue to put out little videos and try to motivate you moving forward. And yeah, with that, have a happy Sunday, happy prospecting, happy exposures, happy everything, happy cycling, because everybody needs to cycle. Go out and do something with yourself. Make somebody happy, change the world, because only you can do it one day at a time. Bye.